I'm tapped the frickin' right now. I'll give you all the names of these, and then I'll tell you the definitions, and I'll do it blind. Marbury vs. Madison. McCullough versus Maryland. Lopez v. United States. What do you vote? One man, one vote. Frick, what is this? Baker v. Carr. This is a Jewish one. Engen v. Vitali. Engel. Shebar. State laws. Wisconsin v. Yoder. Greater Burden. Private Street. New York Times v. United States. Shut your gird ass. Clear by Shank vs. United States. Okay, so Tinker v. Des Moines School District. Boom. McDonald's v. Chicago. Boom. Gideon v. Wainwright. Shebar. Roe v. Wade. Oh. Brown v. Board of Education. Oh my god. Oh, this one's tough. Hold on. Shaw v. Rodu. Shut your girt ass up. Citizens United v. FEC. I'm doing that again. Marbury vs. Madison. McCullough versus Maryland. United States v. Lopez. Baker v. Carr. Engel v. Vitali. Wisconsin v. Yoder. New York Times v. United States. Yep. Shank v. United States. Tinker v. Des Moines School District. McDonald's v. Chicago. Gideon v. Wainwright. Ooh. Roe v. Wade. Ooh. Brown v. Board of Education. When you think about it, Shaw v. Reno. I'm tough. Citizens United v. FEC. Now, I'll do it backwards. Using judicial review, Section 3 of Article 2 establishes judicial review and the power for the Supreme Court to judge acts and laws from Congress and executive branch as unconstitutional. Boom! Shoot, wrong one. Alright. McCullough v. Maryland, using the necessary and proper clause from Section 1, Article 1, Section 8 to establish national sovereignty over states. Using the idea, the fundamental thing is the Commerce Clause established that the national government cannot overstep its constitutional boundaries using the Commerce Clause. Baker v. Carr was about using, I think, the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause made it so the federal government can force states to redistrict after the census every 10 years. One man, one vote. Keep forgetting that. Edgo v. Vitali, using freedom of belief clause, whatever it's called, to establish that school-funded public schools cannot enforce or host voluntary prayer. Establishment clause, frick. One man, one vote. Establishment clause. Wisconsin v. Yoder, using the clause of belief, whatever, made it so that religious beliefs trumps state laws. Free exercise clause. The publication of documents is protected and the government cannot use prior restraint unless they give further evidence of further burden through the release of those papers. Oh yeah, free speech and whatnot. Shankry, United States, deals with the First Amendment, establishes that the government can limit your free speech if there is a clear and present danger of substantive evils. Substantive evil. Tinker v. Des Moines School District, using the First Amendment of free speech, established that schools cannot take away your First Amendment rights to speech as long as that speech does not go over any boundaries of constitutional regulations. Sheebar. McDonald's v. Chicago, using the Second Amendment onto the 14th Amendment of the Equal Protection Clause, establishes that the Second Amendment applies not only to the federal government but also state and local government. So you cannot make no gun laws. Okay, Gideon v. Wainwright, using the Sixth Amendment, establishes that the state must. The Sixth Amendment also applies to the state level, making it so any trial by jury must have an attorney given by state. Free attorney given by state. Roe v. Wade, using the 4th, 9th, and 14th Amendment to establish the right to privacy, in which abortion is also part of the right to privacy. Brown v. Board of Education, using the 14th Equal Protection Clause, started that separation by race violates the 14th Amendment. Alright. Shaw v. Reno is about gerrymandering, using the 14th Equal Protection or whatever, basically saying that gerrymandering is illegal. Citizens United v. FEC basically established, using the First Amendment freedom of speech, saying that political spending on advertisement is a form of speech which cannot be banned by laws. Yeah. Alright. Time to go blind. Let's go with the first one. I remember. Marbury v. Madison. It was using Article 3, Section 2, Judicial Review established the Supreme Court's power to use judicial review and determine whether laws and acts on executive branch are unconstitutional or not. McCullough v. Maryland established national sovereignty over state using the necessary and proper clause in Section 1, Article 8. Article 1, Section 8. Okay, and then next one is United States v. Lopez, using the Commerce Clause, established that the national government cannot overstep its constitutional authority by using the Commerce Clause. Next one is, I think, Carr v. Baker. Carr v. Baker was about using the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause to establish that the federal government can force the state government to redistrict or reapportion seats in the House of Representatives every 10 years after the census due to changing demographics. Next one, I think, is did 4 so far. So 5th one, I think, is Engel v. Vitale. Uses the Establishment Clause. Establishment Clause to establish that state-funded public schools cannot host voluntary prayers. Next one is Wisconsin v. Yoder, using freedom of belief. Oh wait, I forgot about the redistricting one. Use one man, one vote. Oops. Anyways, so Wisconsin v. Yoder, using freedom of belief clause or whatever. I'll have to look that up. I think we're on 6th one. Yeah. What's that clause? Free exercise clause. Right. 6th one, we're on a free exercise clause. So the free exercise, using the free exercise clause, basically established that personal beliefs, religious beliefs, overrides state laws. Yeah. Next one, I think, is New York Times versus, I think it might be New York Times versus, let me just check, it is New York Times, New York Times vs. United States, using freedom of press, First Amendment, freedom of speech, basically established that the protection of papers or documents is not enough to use prior restraint, and people have the right to post whatever documents they want unless the government has further evidence to show for the greater burden. Yeah. The next one, forget, we're on the 7th one. I think it's Schneck, right? Yes, it's Schenck versus United States, using the First Amendment, basically established that the government can limit your free speech when there's a clear and dangerous something of substantive evils. Present danger, clear and present danger of substantive. Let me see that word. Substantive. I need to search that up. Substantive. So First Amendment to establish that the government can limit your free speech if it shows a clear and present danger of substantive dangers or evils. Substantive. Wait, I'm not supposed to look. After Schneck, we're on what number? 9. I think. What's at the 9? Is it Gideon? Or is it Tinker? I think it's Tinker Demones. V Demones. Yep. Tinker v Demones School District. Using the First Amendment, established that schools cannot violate your First Amendment rights unless it is shown that they cross constitutional boundaries of regulation. Boundaries of constitutional regulations. Yep. Next one, I'm pretty sure, is McDonald's v. Chicago, if I'm right. Yep. Basically using the Second Amendment onto the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause, established that the Second Amendment applies to not only the federal government but state and local government, so you cannot have gun bans. Yeah. 11th, I think that's Gideon v. Wainwright. Yeah. Which basically using the Sixth Amendment establishes that the state government also has to follow the Sixth Amendment and give people the option to an attorney when there is a jury trial. Yeah. Next one is Roe v. Wade. Using the 4th, 9th, and 14th Amendment, establishes the right to privacy, and basically that right to privacy is connected to the right of abortion. Next one is I forgot. What's his name? Shaw v. Reno? Or is it Brown v. Yeah, it's Brown v. Board of Education. Brown v. Board of Education, using 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause, established that separation by race violates that. Yeah. Shaw v. Reno? Yep. Shaw v. Reno, using the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause, establishes that gerrymandering violates the 14th Amendment. Yeah. And then Citizens United v. FEC establishes, using the First Amendment, that political spending on advertisements is a form of free speech and is protected. You can use this free speech to denounce or support a candidate. There you go. Too freaking easy.